crowd of around 40,000, which of course in Europe's biggest looks rather empty. Smaller ground wouldn't be the case. Of course it holds well over 90,000, heading towards 97,000 when absolutely full. 2017 they'll be starting work on redeveloping this stadium to bring the capacity up to 107,000. Here's Neymar. Defending again by Rocco. A really difficult spell in that 10 minutes or so up to half-time. The Chilean nearly responsible for Elche conceding a fourth there. Barcelona have a huge league game here against the reigning champions Atletico Madrid on Sunday rather. That is the game of the weekend. And of course we have it live for you. Despite the 3-0 half-time lead, when Luis Enrique had the opportunity maybe to change one or two senior players, he's kept the same 11 out there. Here's Messi. This formation of Elche worked really well for over half an hour to frustrate the home side. Once Luis Suarez's delicious pass set up Neymar for the first, the floodgates started to open. Barcelona were regularly finding a way through the mass ranks.
Defended well collectively, didn't they? They did it in numbers. Individual mistakes started to appear. We're seeing in the second half one or two of those as well from the Elche defenders.
Already matched his goals for the whole of his first season. Luis Suarez now up to 4. He'll expect plenty more before his first season is at a conclusion. This is an absolutely brutal month for games, with Copa del Rey every midweek through January. And some tough league games. So I think that little rest over the Christmas period will be welcome. Here's Suarez. It's a lovely trick. Buys himself the space for the cross. Delicious back heel there from Jordi Alba. Confidence of those 3 late-ish first half goals evident in the start to the second half from Barcelona. Mascherano. Messi. Sergio Roberto. Suarez offside.
He's been enjoying himself again. Perhaps he should just look across the line. It's a close call. A good play from Barcelona. They're moving the ball about quick, showing off their full range of skills, loads of back heels. Suarez endearing himself to the home supporters by doing a turn from a famous player that invented that turn. It was quite a favourite here, the old Cruyff turn. They still appreciate it whenever it's used. It's clearly evident, isn't it? Messi is playing wider on the right. I wonder if we're going to see that understand that he had 4, 5, 6 seasons ago with Dani Alves on that right flank. Well, they're almost unplayable on occasions, on lots of occasions, I should add.
Here's Bartra. Mascherano. I do rather think that Barcelona could do without Javier Mascherano in a holding midfield role in a game like this, which they're firmly in control of. Got a promising young holding midfield player, Sergi Samper, on the bench. Could give him some first team minutes. Here's Messi. Lovely run from Neymar, and completely unchecked by some rather statuesque Elche defending. And good work from Titan in the end. It's only a corner.
It's actually a miscontrol from Neymar, isn't it, there? I wouldn't expect him to get that down, get the control. Almost perfect. He got away from him, gave the keeper a chance.
Neymar's ball in. TK wants a corner. And the referee decides that the final touch was off Pellegrin. Rakitic will take the corner. Sisma. Adriano there, who played against Huesca in the last round. Barcelona won that against their lower league opposition 12-1 on aggregate. 8 of those goals scored here in the second leg. Sergi Samper, the highly rated midfielder I was talking about, 19-year-old, started both those legs against Huesca, and we rather expected he was going to start tonight. Luis Enrique went with a really strong lineup. Out of play, despite the best efforts of Fayet. Luis Suarez set up nicely for the volley and deflects away off Rocco and out for the corner.
I did wonder what the motivation was going to be like for Barcelona in the second half. I think they've almost wrapped up this tie, haven't they? It's hard to see Elche come back, and even if the scoreline stays at 3-0 in the second leg, but it does look like Barcelona have got the appetite to create more chances, score more goals.
Rakitic. Lomban. That's the free kick. Didn't seem too much in the challenge from Bartra.
I think it's important, Kevin, that they do wrap up this tie completely in the first leg. There's nothing wrong there, is there? If that is what fouls are judged to be now, then it isn't a contact sport anymore, because that was all there was, a slight touch. I think if they can wrap this game up totally, another 2 or 3 goals in the second half of this game, then it almost becomes a free week, doesn't it? And we looked at the results from all the other ties, they're all still in question.
Nice touch from Messi. Suarez. Rakitic. Neymar's going to have to work to get that.
I think that would then give Luis Enrique a chance to give the fringe players, the squad players, play almost a 4-11 in the second leg.
Of course, when you factor into that the situation where they can't go into the next 2 transfer windows, there's going to be suspensions, there's going to be injuries to senior players, and they're going to have to delve very deep into their squad, so all the more reason why they should be giving outings when they propose themselves to these highly rated La Masia graduates. Terry's favourite, Sandro Ramirez, hasn't made the squad tonight. Continues to irk the man alongside me. Can't understand it. One of his favourites. Here's Messi. Oh yes, Jordi Alba's through, 4-0. Flat-footed Damian Suarez, the Elche right back. Jordi Alba most certainly wasn't. Nimble of foot, nimble of finish.
And it's still so exciting, isn't it, to see a full-back in that position. He's not a winger, he's a left-back. In all sense of purposes, he does play in the left-wing position the majority of the game. When he gets there, he is a good finisher. You can see him then biding his time. He sees the space. Damian Suarez has a look, but once Jordi Alba is on the move, Suarez can only stand still and hope that he runs into an offside position. That's his only chance.
Another glorious pass from Messi.
And I'm just going to say, with all the skills that Messi has, we do underestimate his ability at passing. And it's inch perfect, the perfect weight. Good first touch from Jordi Alba. Not afraid to take it on with his right foot as well. Tuck it under the goalkeeper, tight on.
Neymar. Expression of Mascherano suggests that he feels this is a soft free kick against him.
The arm does come out, doesn't it? And he does make contact. Christian Herrera went down, made the most of it. It's a tough time for Elche. I think they themselves are on a transfer ban as well because of their failure to pay the players, failure to play players that have now left the club. Franny Scribar's going to have to work with what he's got available.
Neymar.
It's quite hard to understand how they've got themselves in such a mess, isn't it? Because they haven't spent huge sums amount of money on transfer fees. I wouldn't imagine they're the highest paid wages in La Liga. Of course they're not. They received €6 million last season for Carlos Sanchez last summer. And somehow they're failing to pay the players, the previous players. It's going to be a tough second half of the season for Elche.
Yellow card for Corobinas. Here's Rakitic. Suarez. Mark Bartra. Alves. Messi. Neymar. Whips in a great shot. Simply unstoppable. Not even at the hour mark, just a question of how many in what's been a troubling few days for Barcelona. And after a frustrating opening half an hour when Elche kept them out, it is raining goals now at the Camp Nou.
It's a spectacular finish and it flies in spectacularly off the underside of the bar from Neymar. It's hard to work out why Barcelona are having difficulties under Luis Enrique when you see the scorers tonight. Neymar 2, Suarez, Messi, of course Jordi Alba, but this one cuts inside, kicks on to shoot, and when he does, it gets a slight deflection there off of Enzo Rocco, and it does, just creeping under the crossbar. Great power on the effort from Neymar. Those defenders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 defenders again, but no one gets close to Denied Neymar the chance to get his shot away.
Well, now that just simply does rubber stamp Barcelona's progression through to the quarter-finals, where they'll meet the winners of the Atletico Madrid-Real Madrid fifth-round tie. And we're looking at Jonathan there, the Brazilian striker. Fran Escobar has introduced into the game, Elche's top scorer, only looking for consolation here. Jordi Alba coming off, having scored the opening goal of this second half, since added to by Neymar. And he makes way now, straight swap at left back as he's replaced by Adriano. 3 times winner of the Copa del Rey, twice with Sevilla, 2007, 2010, and then in his present Barcelona colours 3 years ago. Sergi Roberto, Rakitic, Messi, Neymar, Adriano, and there's plenty waiting for the cutback, just got too much on that. Amidst all the Barcelona goal celebrations, Fran Escobar brought on Jonathan and Aaron Niguez. There he is. Fresh legs up front. Just how much of the ball are they going to see? And when you're not getting your wages paid, Terry, and you're going to be on the end of what seems like an almighty thumping here, hard to know where they're going to get confidence and inspiration from at the moment here, Elche.
They're certainly not going to get it from this match, are they? Probably from the second leg, but a good comeback last week, showed good spirit from a 2-0 deficit to draw 2-2 with Villarreal. They've got Athletic Bilbao away in the next game. I think it's fair to say they're going to be able to concentrate on survival now, rather than a cup run.
Well, that was their main task, wasn't it? There's no dressing it up any other way. La Liga survival. They're only in back-to-back La Liga seasons for the first time since the late 70s. I do rather hope, though, that they get themselves sorted in terms of their finances off the pitch, because they've got a strong fan base. Club from just southwest of Alicante. They were getting crowds of around 30,000 when they were heading for promotion out of the second division. Not too many can boast that.
Again, that just adds to the mystery, doesn't it, of how they've run up these depths.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not as if they're playing in front of 6, 7, 8,000 people. They're still getting really good home support. It's a great atmosphere in that stadium as well for a home match. Neymar takes a knock. Suarez is the culprit. For a lot of players, you're not sure whether he would meant that, but I think we know Damian Suarez, and I think there's a fair chance it wasn't an accident.
Correctly fingered. He has got some previous. The Uruguayan right back. It's not a difficult evening against Neymar. This boy's impressed this season.
He has. He's led the line well. 7 goals. Which is no mean feat in this team, bottom of the league. He has given them a presence up front. Scored some spectacular goals as well. Just won 2 games this season so far in La Liga.
Adriano. Jonathas trying to wriggle his way into the clear, denied that opportunity. Pedro's going to come on very shortly. Messi beautifully dodges Faisal Faye. Suarez, Dani Alves, Mascherano. Might there be a goal for him tonight? Probably not. Hasn't scored in over 200 games for Barcelona. Javier Mascherano, a little further up the pitch. That's as optimistic as perhaps we're going to get. And a rare start in midfield for the Argentine. Doesn't want to come off. Wanted his hat-trick. Little shake of the head there from Neymar. And again. Having not started against Sociedad, might have been banking on a full 90 here, but huge match against Atletico Madrid on Sunday, and his huge fan club gives him a rousing send-off here. He's had a good game.
Yep, no, he's looked really sharp.
Yeah, go on, clear off. I've had enough. Damian Suarez in the era of Neymar.
Well within his rights, Damian Suarez, to say, what do you expect me to do? You're running rings around us, you're beating us 5-0, you've got 2 goals. Do you think I'm just going to continue letting you run in there with no opposition? I think he pretty much was saying something along those lines, and Neymar replaced, didn't look particularly happy, did he?
Here's Messi. Pedro. 4 goals over 2 legs in the last round against Huesca, including a hat-trick here in the second leg. Imagine if Mascherano was playing for an English club. Every time he got the ball within here, about 10 metres closer to the opposition goal, they'd all be crying shoot, but they don't have a culture of doing that in Spain. Might still have a culture in the dressing room of reminding them that he hasn't scored yet. Wouldn't be a great surprise.
If they get another penalty, no chance.
No. Even if Messi wasn't there, it'd be probably 9 more outfield takers ahead of Mascherano.
Adriano on Jonathas.
Should be delivered by the left foot of Edu Albacar. Flick header from Jonathas, the troubling Ter Stegen's goal. Don't really know how good this goalkeeper is, do we, this Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, because yes, he's played in the Champions League. This is his 8th appearance. Played one of the legs in the last round of this competition against Huesca. He's barely touched the ball tonight, but he came highly rated.
He did, and he is he's a very similar goalkeeper in style to Manuel Neuer. Likes to get outside his box, he's excellent with both feet in terms of distribution. When he joined the club, he did have a back injury pre-season. Claudio Bravo started the season off. Been excellent in the league in terms of not conceding goals, and quite rightly Claudio Bravo keeps his place. Ter Stegen seems to be the cup goalkeeper, so we'll still be hoping that he gets plenty of games in the Champions League, in the Copa del Rey.
Pedro, Sergi Roberto.
Astonished to see the possession stat, 68-32% to Elche. Not sure where that 32% has come from. I mean, they haven't had one attack, have they?
No. Not been a great deal of change in the pattern of the team. Yes, slight change around in the sense that he brought on 2 genuine front men off the bench in Jonathas and Aaron Miguez. It's been a backs to the wall job throughout really for Elche. Rakitic, still 20 minutes to go. It's harmless. Rakitic brought us extra insurance in midfield, with Xavi expected to play less as the years advance. Just a word, Terry, on Atletico Madrid last night. 2-0 winners against Real Madrid. Impressive, considering Simeone made so many changes in the last league game.
Yeah, I mean, it was they really do seem to have the better of Real Madrid at the moment in terms of head-to-head matches. So 4 games against them this season, they haven't been beaten in any of them. And they are still going to be challenging on all fronts. Just doesn't seem to matter, does it, what 11 Simeone gets out there. They all have the same attitude, the same desire. They all are drilled in terms of the playing style of the team.
Elche have got Fragapani down there, ready to come on. Another forward player. So, quite a change around then from what we reckoned was a 7-2-1 formation from Fran Escobar at the start here.
It was interesting because pre-game, in his pre-game comments, Escobar said he's trying to find a system which gets the balance better between defence and attack. Clearly he's got it wrong tonight again. There's been no balance in terms of attacking play. It's a bit too late now to start changing it and trying to be a bit more offensive.
The horse has bolted, hasn't it? Sisma coming off. First opportunity really to have a look at Fragapani, 21-year-old Argentine on a season's loan from Boca Juniors. Just one appearance so far this season against Atletico Madrid. Bartra. Should be a Barcelona throw, surely. It's gone the other way. Well, you're more than welcome to pull up a chair and join us this weekend for another round of La Liga games. Some really good ones to look forward to. Malaga have had some good form this season. Villarreal in great form at the moment. Real Madrid in need of a result at home to Espanyol. Valencia, always a good watch. And the last game to round off the weekend, unmissable. From here at the Camp Nou, the champions come to Barcelona. A cracking game that promises to be.
This is not turning out to be the most strenuous of games for the Barcelona players, but it is quite ridiculous when Luis Enrique probably doesn't feel that he can take off Lionel Messi with a big game against Atletico Madrid at the weekend. It doesn't really make sense for Lionel Messi to be out there now, does it? 5-0 up, going through the motions, the team up.
Or Mascherano, who's going to be a key member of the squad as they try and wrestle the title back. Might just be Mascherano's time to come off shortly, because the player I was talking about earlier. I'm glad we're going to see a quarter of an hour or so of Sergi Samper. Few fleeting opportunities he's had. He's looked very cool and assured in that holding midfield role. Adriano, good ball here to Dani Alves, whose touch is very poor. So many good young players have come up through the La Masia Academy We're going to see one who joined Barcelona at the age of 6. Might even have beaten Gerard Piqué for the Barcelona colours, the man who's going to replace him. One player at centre-back, Mascherano, is going to have to go back to defence, so he won't see out 90 midfield. Sergi Samper will drop into the centre of that midfield department. Just his 4th senior appearance, hasn't yet played in La Liga. He's had a Champions League appearance, and this is now his 3rd in the Cup. But what we've seen of him so far, Terry, I think you like him, don't you?
Oh, very much so. And that's been for 3 years now. Watching his development, because he was one of those youngsters who was signalled out as going to be something special. This is certainly going to help his development. He's playing well in the B team this year, who in fairness are struggling in the 2nd division, but it's a very young Barcelona B this season. He's been labelled as a cross between Busquets and Pirlo, so...
Oh, well, good luck there.
Yeah, I know.
No pressure.
And I keep saying every time I see him play, I'm not going to use that line again, but it's just that once we get used to seeing him play, we'll let people make up their own mind that how good, what type of player Sergi Samper is, but it's just a taste of what he's meant to be like. And I can see the similarities.
He looks to have a very mature head on 19-year-old shoulders. Of that, we've seen enough in his 3 senior appearances up to now. Here's Messi. Turns on the turbo. Immediately there were problems for Elche. A yellow card for Sergio Pellegrin. Last thing he wants is Messi running at him full tilt.
Made sure put a stop to Lionel Messi just before he got into the 18-yard box, didn't he? So he gets away from Albuquerque. Crudely ball down by one of the centre-backs of Elche, one of the many centre-backs of Elche tonight.
Inviting angle this for Messi. Save from Titan, back in by Pedro. Just looked for a split second as if the goalkeeper wasn't going to get across there. Only just made it. Jonathas. Niguez to foul on Rakitic.
Looks to be in pain here, doesn't he? I'm not sure if it's from the foul. There's a tangle legs, isn't there? But holding the back of his calf. I'm not sure if there was contact from the Niguez. It was a foul, it's a tangle. Misses attempts from the free kick. Titan does well to get there and probably hopes that it's just going to go behind for the corner, but sharp play from Pedro to keep it in play and get it back in the 6-yard box. Must just be a kick on the calf for Rakitic.
Elche were obdurate opponents for the first half an hour of this Copa del Rey 5th round first leg tie. Once Neymar stroked in the opening goal after a wonderful pass from Luis Suarez. 2 followed quickly in the latter minutes of the first half. 3-0 at the interval, meant for what you would suspect was a harmonious dressing room. Difficult to gauge after recent developments, but 5-0, certainly what Barcelona would have wanted. There's been a lot of criticism coming the way of this football club from outside. They can try to batten down the hatches a little bit. Luis Enrique, the coach, has been asked many a question by the press here about his relationship with Messi. And the head coach continues to say it's good.
That was interesting, wasn't it? Some of the sections of the crowd singing Luis Enrique, being whistled down, and then the chant from the crowd is for Messi.
Right on cue. Oh, Messi with a gorgeous little turn around the corner. Suarez for Pedro! Oh, we were just waiting for it to bounce into the back of the net. Deserved a goal. Messi and Suarez, you know, a wonderful link-up, and Pedro really should be scoring there.
He went for the spectacular finish, didn't he? Suarez drawing towards goal. Good disguise on the pass as well. It's the necessary elevation on the finish, Pedro. What chance have you got if you're Elche? You've got three central defenders there. You've got Luis Suarez running it. You've got Pedro running off the ball, and you can't catch either. Yes, Pedro should have scored. It's interesting to see the two styles of the managers, Real Madrid and Ancelotti. The players all seem to have respect for, are very happy. They all believe that he treats them well. And then Luis Enrique, with what we're led to believe, is having quarrels with his star players, with a lot of the players. There is no right or wrong with Luis Enrique. That's his style of management. Still, Barcelona are challenging. It could be them quite comfortably, quite easily. They could still win the league, could still win the Champions League. But it's two different styles of management. Whether it's going to pay off for Luis Enrique, we'll only see at the end of the season. I can't imagine that he won't at least be manager of Barcelona until the end of the season.
Well, the one word that's kept cropping up amidst all this is authoritarian. He won't be the first head coach or manager to manage in that way, Luis Enrique. It's just that it's not what they've been used to. We're led to believe there's a coldness about Luis Enrique, and a distance between himself and the players. Some head coaches, some managers actually go for that. That's what they want. Others get an arm around, know the players they need to get an arm around and cajole. And the others, maybe they don't need to be quite so close to, but good old-fashioned man management. If you believe what's coming out of the mouths of the Barcelona players here, it's not a strong forte of Luis Enrique's, and that's what's causing that particular division at the moment. As you rightly say, Terry, really, crises are all relative, really. Suppose you lose a game at a club of Barcelona's level and immediately people are pressing the panic button, but there's been problems as well in the president's office, and it's not just been about the head coach. Of course, the sporting director has gone. Carlos Puyol had been working underneath Andoni Zubizarreta. He decided he would resign from his post shortly after Zubizarreta left, so none of that is helpful. But on the pitch, doing the business. Offside, Adriano. But these are not divisions that they can allow to float on too deep into the season. They've really got to close them off, haven't they?
And I think he's foolish to have started and adopted this style of management. I know he was a huge favourite when he was a player at this club, but he's had one year as manager of Roma, where he got the sack, 1 year at Celta Vigo, where they did okay. He did get this job on the back of his playing career and picking up some coaching knowledge along the way. So he does really need to keep people on side, and it shouldn't be hard, Kevin. It shouldn't be that difficult to be manager of this team, of this squad of players. He's making life difficult for himself. I think that's an understatement.
Into the last 5 minutes. No free kick. Bartra emerges with possession, runs into trouble in the shape of Damian Suarez. It'll be very interesting to see Enrique's lineup for next week's second leg, with the tie almost certainly in favour of Barcelona and their place in the last 8. Here's Dani Alves. Little push on the Brazilian.
Still looking to get forward, isn't he, Dani Alves? He's been around for ages, loves this competition as well. Won it 3 times. Sevilla, twice with Barcelona. Amongst all the other things that he's won at Barcelona.
Samper, Adriano. Dani Alves, Messi, Luis Suarez. It's a brilliant move. Has it got a finish? Still Dani Alves. Flags up. We're offside. That famous tiki-taka to the fore there.
And then it goes back to Pedro when he's on the byline. I think he's the player guilty of being in an offside position. Questionable whether it comes off the defender Pellegrini or Dani Alves. Not going to be hugely controversial, that decision though, I don't think, in the grand scheme of things.
And notwithstanding the quality of opposition they faced tonight, Terry, how would you rate this overall performance from Enrique's team?
I think you have to take the quality of the opposition into account. You have to probably get a fair reflection on their performance at the weekend. We will certainly get a fair reflection on their next fixture against Atletico Madrid. But by and large, this is the Barcelona that we have seen this season. There's been a season where they've suffered 4 defeats, 3 in the league, 1 in the Champions League. A couple of draws away from home with having to score goals, which again is highly unusual for Barcelona. As I said, we talk about crisis, but they are just a point behind Real Madrid. I know Real Madrid have got a game in hand, but we are seeing a great tussle at the top of the division. We could include Valencia and Sevilla in that top 5 now.
It's a positive result for Messi and company and for the head coach Luis Enrique, but he's going to be judged in the big games. Still has a lot of critics here, Luis Enrique, and he'll need a positive result here on Sunday against the champions. He'll need this man at his best. Suarez, Messi, knocked away by Rocco. This is Rakitic. Suarez, how on earth did he keep that in? Trying to set it up for Sergio Roberto. Adriano. Pedro. So into stoppage time. Just 1 minute of that. "17 goals Barcelona have scored in 3 games. Might even add to that. Oh, Rakitic. Oh, did he get caught in 2 minds there? Did he just really get way too much on the cross? It's a really good position for him.
Actually, he does well. Certainly Luis Suarez does absolutely brilliantly here. Keeps the ball in play. Finds the challenge of a couple of defenders and just can't get that pass right at the end of it.
Well, the famous front three did the job in the first half after a frustrating opening half an hour when it was 0-0. Blanket defence from Elche frustrated Barcelona for a spell. Until Neymar got the first, he got 2 on the night. Messi scored from the penalty spot. Luis Suarez got a fine individual goal. Jordi Alba completed the score.